And so in here I have but a few pounds of fish. I need to raise this up to about 35 or 40 pounds, roughly, because it's a ratio of poundage of fish and gallons of water. It's a 5 to 1 basically. Roughly, you need about 5 gallons of water for every 1 pound of potential of fish. And I say potential, meaning which, in many systems, we actually harvest the fish and we eat the fish. It's one of the main reasons that we do our hunting is we eat the fish. Well, we don't eat cold fish.
I was gonna say, are those koi or like?
No, they're just big goldfish.
They're just big goldfish. Because I was expecting tilapia, because I've heard that a lot of times tilapia is used in these systems, right?
Yes, good. You're right. However, tilapia is a tropical fish. They're from Africa, so the waters have to be warm. This water is 50 degrees, so I have to have this heater system to keep my water at least 70 degrees. Now at my house, I have one of these systems as well, and but I have electricity there, so I can afford to run a heater. A submersion heater is about 1,000 watts an hour. That's a lot of energy, but there's no electricity there, so I can't run it. So I can't use tilapia.
Are there any cold water fish that can be eaten, or?
Yep.
So why choose goldfish?
Well, two reasons. Goldfish produce a lot of byproducts.
Okay.
And they are expensive. So bass, perch, catfish can be expensive. For the amount of poundage in here, $2-3 a fingerling times 35 pounds. That's a lot of money. Hundreds of dollars of fish. Because this is not in my backyard, it's unmonitored right now. I just wouldn't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So the goldfish do the same thing, just at a much cheaper.
Gotcha.
But so how this whole thing works is the byproduct of fish is ammonia. Just them living in water and their effluent creates ammonia. Well, that ammonia travels through the water system and through bacteria in the air converts into nitrites and nitrates. That's what plants eat, the nitrates. So the ammonia goes through what's called a nitrite cycle. Well, so the fish effluent we don't want in the rest of the system, so we drain it off. So that's what this big guy is for, as a filter. So I've already drained it today. I just left it sitting here, but that's the fish waste at the bottom here. Well, now that's
it's not actually the waste that's feeding the. Oh, okay.
Yes, right. So this is now highly enriched nitrogen. I now have dirt gardeners asking me for my fish water, and I'll go dump it on there. This is highly enriched nitrogen.
Yeah.
So we may actually start putting this into a bubbler system and reducing it down. You can make a fish emulsion tea. There's a 1 casting tea. These are all, they make a lot of nitrogen and dirt gardeners. They don't like the soil gardeners. They'll pay for that. So
I just bought fish emulsion. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Okay. So that's the basis of this. So I would just have to add another bubbler. In fact, I have a bubbler here that I could actually convert. I have the double it here, but this is my mixing tank. This is a buffer tank right now. So whenever I have to add nutrients, this is where I add them, and the water flows through here at a slow enough rate. That's what's ending up down there. But instead of overdosing or infusing a lot of nutrients all at once, this gently mixes it and adds it up. So all the water starts here, comes through this main filter. This removes all the heavy stuff. This is a fine particulate filter. Anything that this guy catches. And so then when it the question of the day is, how many gallons of water do you think is in this water system? It's 1,000 gallons.
Oh my gosh.
1,000 gallons of water.
Way more than I would have.
There's a lot of water. So there's 250 gallons, 50, 30, 30, 30, 2 more 30s underneath it here, 140, 160, 160, whatever else is in the lines. It's roughly, it's almost 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So these, as I said, this is hydroponics. So
Oh, they're just floating.
I love these
oh
little
my
ice
gosh,
cream
look at
things.
that. They're just
floating
floating
on water.
there.
So all this water is the same source of water. So whatever nutrients come from there go to here. So this bed serves two functions. This is crushed granite. Step there. Crushed granite is where that ammonia collects and then starts breaking down into nitrites and nitrates. So that's one of the primary purposes.
Are these also floating on a...
No,
Water.
this is all rock.
Oh, okay, that's just...
9 inches of rock. Yeah, crushed
Okay.
granite. Yeah. So, but this is where all the magic happens, is that conversion, that nitrites conversion, the ammonia to nitrates, nitrites to nitrates. And so that water comes in here and then drains back out, ends up back in the sump, and it's shared throughout this entire system. So it's continuously recirculating.
So this bed is adding more nutrients?
Yes.
So what about the plants in here? Like these are not sitting in water, but they're still...
It's the
like,
same source of water. It's all the same water.
Hey, Chief, I think you need to clarify that there is water in here. Dig down and shore.
Well, yeah. So this water comes up, it fills up. So this is why this water is
Oh,
wet.
okay. So
with-
that there is water that's like reaching these...
Yes, at the bottom.
Plants,
So
okay.
about 2 inches down underneath it here, the water comes up. It's draining now, but
Okay.
it raises up. See the water coming in.
Uh-huh.
So this fills up, and then when it reaches a certain height, this bell siphon over here. So you see, I want to see where the water level is. So when it gets high enough there,
yeah.
this bell siphon creates a suction, and it sucks all the water out.
Okay. So what's the... Oh, sorry. No. Go take a
I'm
look.
so
So
sorry.
what's the benefit? Like, do certain plants... like, you've got some plants in this bed and some plants in this bed, but, like, if the granite is kind of adding more nutrients, does that mean these plants are getting more nutrients because the water's passed through the granite?
So the granite, it actually has two functions. One is the primary collection for the nutrients. If I didn't have this, that bio tank would do the same thing. It's not big enough. That's one small batch. For 1,000 gallons of water, I really
Okay.
need a lot of biomass. So that's secondarily what this purpose is for. Primarily, I can't grow tomatoes in rafts. I can't grow peppers in rafts. I can't grow basil in rafts. Anything heavy stocked like that, it
Okay.
doesn't work. It's too big. It's too heavy. It'll actually break the rafts.
Gotcha.
The lettuce is pretty light, and it'll grow just perfectly just this way.
Okay.
So this is more for big stocked things. Technically, I probably could grow strawberries here. I haven't tried it. See, these are already, I've already pollinated these.
Oh, those are looking so good.
I honestly didn't even realize the strawberries grew so well up here.
Some fruits that you can grow this way. Now, so they say strawberries don't like wet feet. And so because the water comes up and wicks the roots and then goes back down, see the water's not coming down.
Gotcha.
So that's as high as it goes before it starts draining back out. We don't want water to sit on top because
Right.
it would create algae. And too much algae robs the nutrients, and it also changes the pH. So in fact, it raises the pH. So we maintain our pH. We maintain all of our elements very precisely so that we can make sure everything grows in a healthy manner. Right? So this is all dialed in. It's all tuned up or tuned in, whatever you want to say.
Did you build this all by hand? What's your background? Like, how did you get into this?
Good question. So, I grew up on a farm in Indiana. Dirt farm, soil farm. There's a lot of work, really a lot of work. But I like the wholesomeness of the food that we harvested. We had, it's just the freshness is just uncomparable to what we're eating these days. Most people don't realize that food, once it's harvested and picked, by the time it gets into a store shelf, it's lost 45% of its nutrients. Just the moment, just by harvesting it, and the logistics involved in shipping, an average of 1,500 miles. Most of the lettuce comes from California and the Nevada Basin. So by the time it gets up to upper New York, it's like not really worth much and doesn't really taste well. So I've When I moved to Texas in '95, I wanted my own little patch of dirt to grow my own little garden. But you know, these guys, they break their back. This is hard work, raising gardens in Texas. It's hot. The soil is a clay-based soil. You have to contend with weeds, back breaking, bending over. It's a lot of hard work. And so one day I was looking up on the internet about different ways to water my garden. And in the search results, the Epcot Center in Orlando came up. They have an aquaponics system. It's like, oh, there's no dirt, it's fish and water. So that was in 2014. So I have a construction background, and so I thought, well, I could build these things. And so
Yeah.
I have, and I've been tweaking and inventing or trying different things to figure out what works most efficiently. I started a company called No Dirt Required, because there's no dirt, aquaponics, and I was doing this for homeowners and or small commercial systems. So that's what that means here. So so now this is my way of giving back. I'm a retired Navy chief, and this is just my way of helping my fellow brothers in the military. So, but that's kind of how I got into it. Just trying to figure out a better way to automate my watering or such. I don't water any of this; it waters itself. I'm not bending over, breaking my back because this is off the deck. I'm not dealing with weeds because there are no weeds. So I've just satisfied several of the components. One of there's dozens and dozens of benefits of this type of system, but the top three are: I can produce 8 to 10 times more food per square foot than soil, because I can grow my plants closer together. The water brings the nutrients to the roots. Well, the reason we separate lettuce, for example, 1 foot on center, is to give the root mass its nutrient base. Well, we don't have that problem here. The nutrients travels throughout this entire system and brings the nutrients here. So 8 to 10 times more food per square foot, 30% faster because it's bringing the nutrients and air. I have air pumped in here, so dissolved oxygen is increased. And what's the third thing?
90% less water.
90% less water. Because all this water is circulating, I'm using the same water. And in fact, on the outside here, I have a rain gutter. So I collect my rainwater. It's pumped right into the sun.